Career high 19 points per game for Mitchell last year. Third all-time in a season in Fever scoring. Olsen was the 23rd pick in the draft. One of those players trying to make this roster as Cunningham just fighting through traffic.
To face up, to make reads, to cut. Those things are important in the league.
Oh, the hesitation and the drive. We really saw her confidence sky on the same page, and this is what you're working through here in the preseason. Rectal lines up and knocks down a three. They'll say it's a long two, but still an impressive looking shots.
Corner triple in transition. See that now? That's going to get me excited if we start seeing a lot of that in the league.
This will too.
Nice back door.
These two have a lot in common as Citron off the mark on a three. Bounce pass Citron, pretty reverse and the finish.
A bunch of different looks on the top of the floor.
There's Mitchell, but she lost the handle and it's a 4-on-1. Citron, hands off, and Anxler banks it home. Pretty likely she'll go in that one. As a cutting Citron lays it in, and she's shown off that athleticism here in the first quarter. Fever have a game tomorrow, that rare preseason back-to-back, and you do have to be careful as Cunningham is left alone and drills a three. 30s if they're lucky enough to be playing that. They're still in peak form.
And it's a player that Stephanie White knows well for coaching her the last 2 years in Connecticut.
Sykes switch on to Boston, she'll attack her, and Sykes wins the matchup and one. Bonner the drive into the double team, steps through, fires it up there, shot too strong, Howard right place, right time. Starters back on the floor for Stephanie White. Sykes puts on the break, wheeling inside, Howard gives chase, and a difficult finish for Sykes.
I mean, beautiful foot.
So shot fakes the three, gets right to the rim, lays it in with a foul. Citron on the drive, high arcing pass, it was too high. Hull pulls down the rebound. Here's Cunningham again. Cunningham coast to coast. Shot that was defended well. Anxler's made a couple of good defensive plays here in the first half. Melvin leaks out. High arcing bank shot will go.
And see, this is what Stephanie White's going to love on film. Washington's going the other way to score. That's why you got to run through your stuff.
Howard backdoor. Hull gets inside and finishes.
Indiana has done a nice job of attacking the rim.
Well, the Fever don't get back defensively, and Sykes makes him pay. For the 12th time here in the first half. Cunningham bounces Howard, the left hand, a finish in one.
First team all WNBA guard. And what a remarkable finish for the Fever to make it to the playoffs, a place they hadn't been since 2016. Now they're not just talking about making the playoffs.
Experience on the roster to 213. That's last year or this year. Mitchell did not hit a shot in the first half, but opens up the second half with a three. A repost, spinning on Anxler. Howard the right hand this time, shot too strong. Howard battling underneath, got her own offensive rebound and laid it in. Shook Sutton looking for her first scoring, poked away there by Colson. Citron turns the corner, high arcing shot will fall. Points in the debut for Citron. Sutton, Anxler, cross-court pass. Here is the rookie, dialing up a three.
She can clearly shoot it.
Mitchell turning the corner. The hesitation drops it for Boston on a fake. Boston gets it up and gets it to go.
I think Aaliyah Boston's finishing around.
Their battle down there with Boston has a lot of size. Boston, handoff Mitchell, bullseye. Cunningham off a double screen. Back for Bonner. Bonner gets inside. Boston, extra pass, corner three. It's Hull. Take their first lead since the first minute of the preseason opener. Anxler left alone, and she rattles it in.
Good D by Citron.
Boston looking backdoor and got it to Cunningham. Found a crevice. Play for the last look. Turned it over on their last possession. Hull will launch and get the bounce. Oh, Bonner battling and laying it in.
Great crash from the weak side.
Out there, which for us this year is freedom of movement, screening, traveling, contact on drives to the basket, like the pathway plays, court training and evaluation, so that sort of kicked it off. And then we just came off of a 4-day classroom training event, crew chief training, you know, just sort of best practices. You know, we're trying to work on our replay, you know, just tighten that up and get more efficient.
Sophie Cunningham knocks down her second three as she continues to sizzle here in front of the Gamebridge Fieldhouse faithful. Dawson, on the other hand, an and-one opportunity.
Might be other rules or sort of interpretations that, you know, get looked at, you know, in the WNBA.
I like the way you say that the players, as Stephanie White calls it, timeout.
Well, Sue, we greatly appreciate you joining us here, helping educate us on some of the areas of emphasis of the officiating crew as Boston lays it back in for Indiana.
Helped us break it down a little. It's good for the fans to understand what the officials are going through and what they're looking at, because everybody wants them to get it right.
Citron, corner three, dials up a triple using that Boston screen. Mitchell has some space, driving on Prechtel. Mitchell puts on the brakes. Mitchell with a shot clock down to 5. Mitchell into traffic and lays it in.
Really?
Area Finn on Ejim, putting on the moves, ducks inside, lays it in with a foul. Kelsey, thank you. Here is Mitchell. Mitchell on the drive, aggressive attack, and she banks it home.
I mean, she is the ATO. Yeah, that's Boston.
Not a single starter on the floor here for Washington. Deep two, and it will fall. And a big shot from Zay Green. Khadijah Cave, who has just checked in, comes up with the steal. Prechtel corner three. An offensive rebound and a stick back. JoJo Lacey, who's also just entered the game. Gonna watch the clock tick away. Green with 5. Finds the Iowa star Olsen. She leaves it short. Put back from Cave, no. And we're headed to overtime in the first preseason game of the year. Prechtel wins the tip to Zay Green. All inside for Timpson, who finishes.
I'm telling you, this kid right here. That was a great job of her, and we got the lead to allow her to do so.
Green puts on the brakes, cross-court pass. Jones dials up a 3. Cunningham slow to get up on the other, and she got tangled up with Prechtel. Brown puts on the brakes and connects.
You think Stephanie White told her to settle down and play her game?
Second effort, an ill-advised shot perhaps there, but it's not going to matter. Not enough time left. And the Fever will take their preseason opener after falling behind by 15 in the first half.
Sophie, most preseason games don't feel like this. You had 2 huge free throws to set it into overtime. How did this group get it done in extra time?
Man, you know, I think they killed us in the 3 quarters or 4 quarters because we went, is that me talking? Oh no, that's them. Oh my gosh, sorry, blonde moment. But we just had to get it done defensively. I know we're going to make shots, and offensively we have every threat out there that you possibly need, but defensively is where we need to really dial it in.
In a preseason game, it might take a player a little bit to find their rhythm. Not for you, though. You look like mid-season form out there, and your first time in a Fever uniform. How ready were you for this moment?
You know, I didn't play in the offseason. I just want to get my body right. I had a couple surgeries. But you know what? This is a new era for me. This is just a fresh breath. Oh my gosh, I can't even speak. Fresh breath air. And we just have a really great group. We have a lot of great vets. We have a lot of young people who want to win, have the will to win, a bunch of dogs. And so I'm just coming in with a great attitude and just doing whatever the team needs me to do.
It was a competitive, chippy first half. You stepped up in some big moments, but you got the crowd going in some big moments. Just describe what it feels like to play in front of those crowds when you have them rocking.
Hey, you know what? At the end of the day, this is an entertainment business. I know a lot of people pay a lot of money to come and watch us play, and so we want them to have fun. And at the end of the day, I work my tail off in the off season, and now this is my fun. I want to go out there, I want to smile, I want to laugh, I want to get the crowd involved, and that's just who I am. I'm an energy player, and at the end of the day, I'm going to do whatever the team needs. But when you get this building popping, it's really hard to play here.
All right, preseason's all about learning. What did this team learn from this game that you can implement tomorrow and the rest of preseason?
Man, defense. We got to match up early. We got to learn how to rebound, fill our positions, transition. Like we're scratching the surface. You know, we have a lot of bodies. Training camp has been really great. But with that, it's a new team. We need to learn each other's rhythm. We need to get our chemistry going, and all that will come. So we have a lot to learn. But I really do think coming out with a dub for the very first time feels good.
And I'm sure fans are excited too. Well, congratulations. Thanks so much, Sophie.
Awesome. Thank you.